It started with a simple request, an odd demand, really. I always had to be taller. It became a strange axis around which my life began to spin, a dizzying orbit dictated by her whims. I'm 6'1", she's about 5'7". That should have been enough of a margin, a safe buffer against the ridiculousness. Instead, it felt like walking a tightrope, a dizzying balancing act, with the world always threatening to tip precariously beneath her feet. The first time she shouted at me, it was on the stairs. I laughed it off, chalked it up to a momentary lapse. She had gone ahead, taken the higher steps, and when she looked down, her face twisted into a sneer. "You're smaller than me," she hissed, her voice dripping with venom. "You said you were tall, you liar, you scumbag!" Her voice ricocheted off the plaster walls, echoing in the confined space. I told her it was the stairs. A simple matter of perspective, that when we were level, I'd be taller. A pathetic attempt to placate her, I know. When I caught up, when we were finally on the same level, she calmed, saw I was right, and the world reseated itself, tilting back into some semblance of balance. I should have kept that relief, bottled it like some precious elixir against the poison to come. Later, on a humid hike where the trees let in knives of light and the path smelled of wet stone, the scoff returned, sharper, more venomous. She'd gone ahead again, a recurring pattern, then turned back with that same thin, cruel smile. "You liar," she said, her voice barely a whisper. And then she produced a small knife, dull and oddly domestic, as if plucked from a kitchen drawer. The sun seemed to dim, as if even the heavens were recoiling in horror. The wind hollowed out, leaving a vacuum of silence. Fear is simple and focused. The noise of my breath, the thud of my boots, the metallic smell rising faintly from the blade. I told her again, distance, not stature. A desperate plea, clinging to logic in the face of madness. When we were level, she nodded, as if victory was reclaimed, as if some cosmic score had been settled. But this time she held my face the way a teacher would hold a pupil's chin, a gesture both intimate and deeply unsettling, and said quietly, her voice a low, menacing purr,
"You always have to make sure!"
The mountain kept secrets, ancient and unknowable, buried deep within its stony heart. She led me off the trail, a deliberate detour into a bowl of scrub and shadow, where the air tasted older, heavier with the weight of forgotten things. There were places where roots folded like resting hands, gnarled and grotesque. And the ground had been dug and refilled badly, disturbed earth whispering of secrets long buried. She pointed out neat depressions, subtle indentations in the earth, and laughed without mirth, a dry, rasping sound that sent shivers down my spine. "I've been up here before," she said, her voice flat and emotionless. "I had boyfriends up here before." She spoke of other men, smaller in the space between them, Men who had felt safe until they were suddenly not. Then she showed me the evidence. Bundles under moss and plastic, things shaped like bodies, wrapped and folded for time. I don't know why I looked closely. Curiosity has a feverishness of its own, a morbid fascination that overrides all reason. The cloth fell away in one place, to reveal a jawbone, a shirt with a laugh frozen in dust. The scent of old rain and something fouled with months rose. And I felt my stomach turn, as if trying to climb back up my throat. She did not plead my understanding, did not offer excuses or apologies. She set the past like a lesson at my feet, a brutal curriculum designed to break me. "So you'll always know," she said, as if teaching me to tie my shoes, as if this were some mundane task. "So you'll always make sure you are taller." I remember the cold settling under my spine like a hand, a clammy, invisible grasp that stole my breath. I moved forward reflexively, to keep up, to prove it, to close the difference, driven by a primal fear that overrode all reason. I should have leapt away then. Instead, I smiled a fragile thing and said, "Okay, I promise." Promises are measurements, so are threats. Sometimes, when the light is thin and the house is quiet, I stand in the doorway and watch the stairs, and the mountain keeps its old hunger buried under leaves and memory.